Stories for Strangers, Volume 3, by Luke Winter. Olivetti Letterer, 22. A picture of him with a typewriter in a park was uploaded to the internet. Within hours, hundreds of people were insulting him. His friends alerted him that he was going viral, and he followed their links to find a photo of him writing stories in the park, and a torrent of hate underneath it. Hate filled his screen for as far as he could scroll. He didn't want to leave the house after that. He was scared to go to the park and write stories for strangers again. He'd sat using his typewriter to write custom stories for people about whatever subject that they asked him for. I read about it in an article about cyberbullying. I thought it was terrible. It inspired me. I took a typewriter into London streets and began to do what he'd done. Call it fate, the law of attraction, or attribute it to the flying spaghetti monster. But 13 months afterwards, mysterious forces have taken me over the ocean. I did not pay my flights. I'm sat with my typewriter in the exact spot where he sat, where that photo that attracted all that hate was made, on this particular park bench in the Highline Park in New York City. My Olivetti typewriter is on my lap and my signs are set up beside me. People walk by peering. Some photograph me on their phones. Will they upload the photos with snarky captions? I wonder. Other people smile and wave. People pass with their eyes glued to me, talking to each other from the sides of their mouths. It is a sweltering day despite it being November. Skyscrapers tower on either side. A guy is walking around with a pumpkin that is dressed up as Donald Trumpkin. It is still Halloween season here. The whole day feels weird. A New Yorker stops and sits beside me. "Write me a story about your typewriter," he says in insouciant Brooklyn brogue. I want a story about the thing that writes the stories. Let me tell you one thing, Olivetti was in a confidential mood. I mean, call me a prude, but I wasn't expecting the relationship would involve getting bashed around so much. Those bony hands of his have barely given me a soft touch since we met, and let me tell you, those hands have been all over me. Olivetti drawled the all suggestively in an accent that betrayed its origins, conceived in Italy, born in Glasgow. I mean, when we met, he told me such romantic things. "Your keys unlock the route to my heart," he'd say. I almost swooned. Then those sharp hands took hold of me. God knows. Olivetti shot a pointed look, as if on the verge of divulging some great secret. God knows, it continued, if you could read the kinds of prose he's tapped out of me. We all believe in freedom of the press, right? But who is out there campaigning for freedom for the press? For the presses. No one considers some poor machine actually needs make all these trite sentences that lovers glean their romance from, with keen, wet eyes. Olivetti Letterer 22 had endured one hell of a ride. The writer who wrapped worlds out of this machine took pride in its stoicism. New York City. Luke Winter. On a street corner, there's no stage, no spotlight, no publisher's logo, no price ticket at the door. There's just a man with a typewriter and a sign that says, "Stories for Strangers." You give him a word, a thought, a feeling, or maybe nothing at all. And in that moment, in the hum of the street, in the rhythm of the keys, a story is born. Not for the markets, not for the shelves, not for profits, but for you. is not how capitalism wants art to live. Capitalism wants book bound and sold, wants stories pushed through marketing funnels, measured in charts, reduced to sales figures. But Luke Winter refuses. He cuts out the middleman, tears down the scaffolding of profit and hands you something raw, fleeting, unrepeatable. A story that will never be printed in bulk, never become a product because it was meant to be shared. He reminds us, value is not always in money. Sometimes it's in the look on a stranger's face when they hold a story made only for them. In a world obsessed with scale, he chooses the small. In a world obsessed with permanence, he chooses the momentary. His art says, not everything belongs to the market. Some things belong to us, to the fragile, fleeting beauty of human connection. Luke Winter's stories are proof that another way of making is possible, that art can escape the cage of commerce, that creation can still be a gift, a conversation, a moment of intimacy in the middle of the street.